What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another FSD video. We are here in the Cybertruck today checking out FSD version 14.2. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to 3W Liners for sponsoring this video. More about that in a bit. Now, I did actually shoot a video a few days ago on 14.1.7. Was going to get that one ready to share with you guys, but then we got hit quickly with version 14.2. So I kind of scrapped that video. Want to bring you guys the most up-to-date FSD footage that I can. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at FSD version 14.2. So here are quickly the patch notes. This is kind of one of the big differences between 14.1.7. Upgraded the neural network vision encoder, leveraging higher resolution features to further improve scenarios like handling emergency vehicles, obstacles on the road, and human gestures. You know, from what I've seen on all of the kind of early access testers on Twitter, they've given it nothing but constant praise and fluff. So we'll see if it really stands up to that. I'm one of the biggest FSD believers that you'll ever meet, but the Twitter posts after a new version of FSD drops are some of the most nauseating posts you'll ever read. Not that I don't think FSD works well, but I mean, come on, guys. Nonetheless, I love testing FSD. We're going to give every version a swing. All right, so we do have the new UI design here where we can start self-driving from park, and of course, it will go in reverse. You've got your speed profile options up here now. They kind of redesigned this even with 14.2. Which is cool. You've got park, curbside, parking lot, driveway. Another thing that they added here under autopilot is you can now see these self-driving stats. So since 14.2, 2% has been self-driving, which has been 0 miles out of 1.3 because I have only started it for a few seconds so far, but we'll see how this number changes through our drive here. All right, let's go ahead and just tap the button and we'll go. This is obviously, it's a Cybertruck Foundation series, so it's hardware 4. It does have the front bumper camera, but once I get 14.2 on my Model 3, I will also be testing it on a non-front bumper camera hardware 4 vehicle and see how we do there. We will be coming to a complete stop and then going here. It's actually going not the same way as the navigation says. The navigation said to turn left, it turned right. Not sure why. I don't know about you all, but keeping the Cybertruck clean is a full-time job. Between the stainless steel, sharp lines, and rugged stance, you want it looking good. But as we work our way through these dark, wet, and muddy fall and winter months, that mission becomes a whole lot harder. The Cybertruck is built to take on anything, but your floor mats? Not so much. That's why a solid set of floor mats isn't just nice to have for Cybertruck owners, it's essential. That's why I switched to channel sponsor 3W Liners. They're designed specifically for Tesla models like the Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, the Model X, and the Cybertruck, plus other EV models. They're laser scanned for the Cybertruck's exact geometry, every angle, edge, and contour, plus the design features a perfectly integrated Cybertruck silhouette. And cleaning, it takes just seconds. You can get mud, dirt, gravel, sand, or even spill a coffee on it during a launch. And with just a quick rinse and a wipe down with a dry cloth, they look brand new. Plus, 3W's Thorax material has no harsh chemical smells, so it's safer for you, your passengers, and most importantly, your pets. So if you want to protect your Cybertruck, keep it looking fresh, and save your carpets from those winter months, now is the perfect time because Black Friday is officially on. Click the link down below and use code METZTECHBF to get 35% off on 3W's official website or $45 off on Amazon. And as far as the driving mode, you can use the right scroll wheel to switch between them. Honestly, in most of my drives, I've been driving on mostly standard or chill. I found that those stick most appropriately to the speed limits, but I have heard that speed profiles have been massively improved in 14.2, so I'll give all of them a chance and kind of see if one of them fits better with my driving style. But I just don't like when FSD speeds. Speeding is, if you go by the definition, going over the speed limit, I'm fine with that, but I don't like it going, 12 over, on a 45. That's just, in my area, you're going to get pulled over for that. In probably most areas you will, so. And like I said, I did shoot a video on 14.1.7. In fact, I shot one on 13.2.9 over the summer and just never got it published. The timing just never worked out right. So we've got some pedestrians there. Good job on getting way over to go out of the way of them. That was great. They gave us a little one of those. This windshield is dirty. See if I can clean this up a little bit. I shot 13.2.9 and 14.1.7, and it just, with how rapidly FSD is kind of coming out, it never lined up. I could never get the video out in time. So hopefully we don't get 14.3 before I am able to publish this video, which should just be a few days from now. So we'll see. We're going 40 into 35 right now, and it definitely feels like we're like holding back. Like I can feel like we're almost like using the brake at the same time. Like you can see the little green line there. I guess because we're going downhill, but this is fine with me. I'd probably be going 45 here. So let's try hurry and see if we increase our speed at all. No, not really. We're sticking firm at that 40. Now we're going up a little bit. And since you guys will probably never see that 14.1.7 video, some of the issues that I did have, one time it parked kind of wonky, but I've heard parking has also gotten improved. There was some weird kind of, not brake stabbing like it was doing on my Model 3, where it was kind of these really quick little stabs. It was more of like it would go to turn out and it would kind of like stutter and stutter and stutter and then go. So we'll see if we get any of that. But one of the issues I'd been having in the past with the Cybertruck is when it would turn left, it would go way too far into the oncoming lane when turning left. And I didn't have that problem on 14.1.7. So we'll see if we have any of that here. And anytime I fast forward or cut, it is simply to take out boring bits like this. I never cut any mistakes that FSD makes. I always leave that in. So we immediately went the second that turned green. The acceleration was good, not too aggressive. I mean, the Cybertruck has so much torque. It's really hard for it not to, kind of give you a little bit of pushback when it does start to go. But there have definitely been times in the past where it's been too aggressive. That was fine. I've also heard that the driver monitoring sensitivity is down. So let's test that a little bit. I'm just going to look at the screen. Well, let me maybe do a timer. I'm going to look ahead just to reset it and looking down. Or at the screen, I guess. All right, we got pay attention to the road after 9 seconds. Almost 10 seconds. Decent bit of time. Let's do it again and see if it was an outlier. That one was 7.26 seconds. So a little bit more sensitive on that one, but I don't really understand how it works. I don't know if it's due to what's going on around you is how sensitive it is, but I think we'll just continue to see it get lessened and lessened and lessened as this software just continues to get better. So I don't know if you guys saw in the clip there, but we just drove past that cop and I was going 31 into 25. They didn't do anything, but like that just kind of makes me uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And we are on hurry, so we could drop it down to standard and we immediately start to decrease that speed. Like if we were going like 28, I don't think there'd be any issue there, but you never know. I just feel like the whole like driver profile or the speed profile thing is a little bit counterintuitive because it makes you have to touch the wheel a lot to kind of scroll back and forth. The speed offset that they used to have where you could choose the percentage that you wanted it to go above the speed limit, that I thought was great because it was just kind of a one-time you just set it and forget it kind of thing. They said basically the speed offset was too complicated. So standard, we're going 5 over. Chill, we're going 2 over. Sloth, we're going on the dot 25. So let's see if we go up to hurry. This person behind me is pissed. They keep kind of like swerving out. I'm going the speed limit, buddy. Why don't you adhere to the law? We were going 5 over in standard. Now we're going 5 over in hurry. So it's like, what's the difference between standard and hurry? Wow, this is a thin road. I just don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's no like clarity to anything. If it said on there like, here's your speed increments, you can choose between them. We just renamed speed offset and gave it fun names to these different profiles. That's totally fine. I guess now we're going 10 over. So maybe hurry is 10 over. Mad Max. Well, I'm not going to do Mad Max actually just because we're in a park, but I don't know. All right, we had some leaves come right at us. I was interested to see if it was going to be impacted by that because I've seen in past versions it's slammed on the brakes for leaves falling, but we did fine on that. We went right ahead, no problem. Surely there's some like AI detection they can do on what obstacles are actually coming at you in real time. It is handling this like perfectly smooth. Like I've never thought like, oh, oof, you know what I mean? It's perfectly smooth on the turns, no stuttering at all. You know, the coming to a full stop thing is annoying because nobody really does that in real life, but it's not their fault that it has to be like that. I'm hoping we could eventually get a little bit of a change there, but I mean, even that, like just right into the little curve there, no hesitation. All right, we got some cars on the side of the road here. We're gonna go right around them. Never even slowed down, which is, again, not different necessarily for 14, or even 13, but previous versions, man. Situations like that could have gotten, or did get really awkward in the way that it would handle it sometimes. It is fun to kind of review all these different versions because you really get to see how quickly the software has been evolving. And I know people like to talk about, you know, Elon's promises and all this kind of stuff. I listen to about 4% of what Elon says, just in general, but it really has been, in the last probably year and a half, been rapidly evolving, which has been impressive. Lane positioning's been good. I mean, I feel like we're pretty much dead center, maybe a little bit hugging to the left. It's a tight turn right here. Wow. Wow. Very nicely done. Immediately cars in this lane, so we stay in the left lane, and we got people coming in the right lane, or the left lane. Little puppy as well. Do not want to hurt that guy. Handled that so well. We had cars on the right side, people on the left side, just weaving in between them with this big old thing. No issues there. We've got a bicyclist coming here, and wow, it's going to go ahead and go. I don't think I would have done that, but they don't seem too mad about it, so. This is definitely a tough area just because of how narrow the roads are. There's people everywhere. It's a park, so people running, people walking dogs, people bicycling. All right, let's see if we can get our first parking attempt here. And maybe not in a handicap, preferably. Or, okay. All right, good. Nice. This is a diagonal parking spot, which auto park could never do, if you guys knew that. And boom. Let's take a look here. We're good forward spacing. We've got good spacing on the side, maybe a little bit on the left. It's a little close. But yeah, so it automatically, since we got to this destination, it just reloaded the same, our next stop. So we'll just hit the button and go in reverse immediately. Holy cow. Not a split second of waste there. And look at that, how quickly it switches back and forth between reverse and drive. That was something that early versions of 14 just really struggled with. Or I guess I should say late versions of 13 struggled with. Early versions of 14 fixed it. Came to that full stop. We do have this girl running next to us here, but she's in the opposite lane, so we should be good. Again, really compact roads through here. I think this is a one-way, actually. Yeah, I think it is. So we shouldn't have any people or any cars on the other lane, which is good. But yeah, it is a one-way. Pedestrians only on the left side. But I love taking the Cybertruck here specifically just because of how compact it is. This is not for the faint of heart. Oh, are you guys walking across or? Yep, look at that. Full stop for those pedestrians. They weren't even waving yet. They were just waiting on the corner to go. And now we're letting this truck go too. Very well handled. That was impressive. Let's see where it's going to pull in. Oh, perfectly. Just right into this spot. And that was awesome. I mean, what do you even say? That's so impressive. I know there's a very specific person in the comments that likes to talk about, you know, how bad FSD is, but there's no other software on the planet that can have that interaction that we just had right there with those people and then this parking. It just doesn't happen. Super Cruise, no shot. Highway Drive Assist 2 with Hyundai, absolutely not. It's not even made to be used off the highway. Tesla has their flaws. Elon has a lot of flaws. Nobody else does this. All right, let's get another destination in. We'll wind back through here and then we'll hop up on the highway. All right, so we kind of went in the grass there, which again, most cases is fine. I don't know if there would have been like another cement curb there if we would have gone right over it. I don't know, but yeah, look at that. You can see the 3D buildings and stuff. That's neat. Yeah, we'll go back this way to one more different spot and then we'll hop up on the highway, just see. You know, I find highway driving and FSD videos pretty boring. A little bit of a different interaction point. All right, see that car was over in our lane because of the pedestrian. Did fine though. It didn't slow down at all, even though they were kind of coming right at us. Normally in past versions it would kind of be really weird in that situation, but handled it perfect. What's really nice about it is it's pretty relaxing now. It used to kind of, you get a little bit of that sweat behind your knees and that your hands would be a little, you'd be like, I don't know if I want to let go of the steering wheel just in case. I mean, for the most part, I'd say 99.9% of the time, you have no issues. Like you don't even have to really think about it. It doesn't do anything unpredictable, which is kind of the big, thing that's going to add to comfort. Is just knowing, I know it's going to do this. I know it's going to behave like this. Even if it has oddities in its behavior, they're predictable oddities. And I think really the only main oddity that FSD still has that's different than normal driving is the full stops at a stop sign. Because unless you're at a four-way stop where there's people on all sides or something like that, nobody stops at a wide open stop sign and just waits there for like a second or two. It just doesn't happen. People roll up to it. If there's no one there, they don't even come to a stop and then they just go. And again, it's not Tesla's fault necessarily, but it is just a little bit uncomfortable. And I am kind of creating a log jam here. There's a motorcycle like right behind me and he is riding up on me and swerving around. Again, I'm going under the speed limit, which is a little bit annoying, and I don't know why. Why am I going 17? Is it because there's people right here? Maybe. I don't know. We're in Mad Max right now, and we're going exactly the speed limit, so I don't know what we're doing, but we're almost to our destination, so we'll get something else put in and keep going. All right, I want to try going to this Supercharger because I want to see if it will automatically back me in when we get to the Supercharger, like at a stall. So I haven't tested that yet. I'm gonna go no highway. I don't like the highway stuff. If you guys want me to make a highway specific FSD video, I will. Just leave it down in the comments, but I find it extremely boring. It just does exactly what you'd think it would do. Like there's never anything interesting. Right, so we are zooming right up because we're in Mad Max. I'm definitely going to change that. Before I got my new Model 3, when I was kind of in between, I drove the Cybertruck as my daily driver for about 2 months, maybe 3 months. And I think it was 3 months. And I got really used to kind of the sights and sounds of it. But after driving my Model 3 again and then coming back to the Cybertruck, man, the Cybertruck is just so much louder. The road noise, the motor noise. I also do miss the performance seats with the bolstering. You know, when you're turning, you get cupped in nicely. These seats don't have as much bolstering. They have a little bit, but not as much. Whoa, that's pretty sick. It's terrifying, but kind of sick. There was one interesting clip from my previous drive on 14.1.7 that I'll put in the video here, but there's this like really skinny little kind of connecting road between two of the main roads, and I was shocked that it decided to go up this road because this road feels like you couldn't fit a go-kart through it. And it's not a one-way, but it's only a one-lane road. So you can have cars coming from both ways. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we didn't have any cars coming the opposite way because I kind of wanted to see what it would do. But I was just shocked that it actually went up this road and navigated it fine, which was pretty impressive. So like overall, knowing its size, staying in the lane, taking turns appropriately, not cutting into oncoming lanes, all of that in this drive and my previous drive on 14.1.7 have been basically flawless. Again, we got parked cars on both sides. We got a guy running. And we gave him as much room as we could with the parked cars on the right, which I, again, really appreciate. I can't see anything, so. All right, so this truck is turning, so we, in theory, should go, and it just waited the whole time. I don't know. I don't know how to judge that, because on one hand, you never know, you know, but that truck could have just kept going and just had its turn signal on accidentally. You never know, but I did also test the other day drive-through behavior a little bit. I was at the Starbucks drive-through, and I just wanted to see kind of what it would do. And it did pull me up to the speaker box. And unlike on my Model 3, when I rolled down my window and then talked and then rolled it back up, my Model 3 went. But I did the same thing with the Cybertruck, and even though I rolled my window up, it didn't go. So I had to give it an accelerator tap, and then it took me around. And when we got up to the window to get the drink, it stopped again, but then it just put the car in park. So I'm going to call that just completely accidental. I don't know. Didn't seem like anything it did was intentional. All right, that's the first little bit of kind of brake stuttering that we've had at all. It probably could have gone there. It should go right now. Are we stuck? I think we might be stuck. All right. Yeah, I gave it a tap. All right, we got completely stuck there, and there were people behind us, so it wasn't going. I don't know what it was doing there. So I guess you could call that a fail, like a disengagement. I didn't disengage, I just gave it a tap, but that wasn't good. That's the first time it's done anything weird so far. We are 51 minutes in. Again, people like on Twitter, maybe I need to start doing this so that I can get FSD before anyone else and be able to make content on it. But it's like, they'll just write these paragraphs like, just blown away by the just absolutely tagging like the AI team and stuff. Unbelievable work, 0 disengagements. I got up at 3 a.m. to drive it for as long as I could and all this kind of, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think FSD is incredible, but like, it's just like like things like that, right? I had 0 disengagement. I didn't do maybe they don't consider that a disengagement, but I had 0. I didn't touch a thing. It was flawless. It was all these kind of things. And like, I've had a lot of really great FSD drives, but there's always something about it where you can be like, not absolutely perfect. You would never know that with these people. So I'm going to be just as, of an FSD enthusiast, and I'm going to criticize it all the same when it does something weird. And that was definitely something that, let's say you're in a situation where you're in like a robo-taxi type thing. Let's say you're in the back seat there. What are you going to do in that situation? You got people honking at you or whatever, and it's all awkward, and what do? You know what I mean? So like little things like that have to get ironed out, and people need to talk about it so it comes to, people's attention. I probably should have stopped it and marked it there. That's on me, but yeah, things like that like have to get ironed out because it's just a really uncomfortable situation. And I feel like if I would have just let it go, it just would have sat there. It wasn't even feeling like it was going to do anything. And we will hop on the highway after this just for a little, quick little snippet of highway driving just to tickle your fancy, but this freaking Supercharger always has stalls out of order. I never go to this one. But it is really tight through here. Like these are all very compact little charging stalls. So let's see. Oh my goodness, that Model S is nuked. What are we doing here? There's no stall here. And we hit the curb. Well, I mean, I can see the stalls over there, so it'd be nice if we parked in one of them. Fail. There is still room for improvement here. As amazing as the software is right now, there's still room for improvement. All right, let's get our last destination in here and we'll get going. There, you hear that? That's us peeling ourselves off the curb. It'd be one thing if it parked me like that and all the stalls were out of order. I'd be like, okay, it knows, and so it's going to put me in kind of the waiting area. There was a stall available. Now that one Model S got absolutely blasted. The whole front hood the front was all crunched up. It wasn't even plugged into anything. So I don't know if it got in a wreck and that's where the furthest I could get it, which is a little bit annoying, but all right, we are hopping up on the highway here. Again, this is, in my opinion, the least interesting thing that FSD can do because it's just it's been pretty much the same for its entire lifetime. Because highway driving is much more predictable. One thing that's definitely improved in past versions, it would ride the left lane so much, and it was so annoying. And you could manually force it back to the right and then it'd try and drift back to the left anyway. Doesn't do that as much anymore. Wonder if I put it in Mad Max if it immediately goes to the left lane. Yeah. I wonder if now back to standard, we go immediately back to the other lane. That's pretty cool. So if you really are like, my wife's about to give birth in the passenger seat, I am putting in Mad Max, we're flying down the left lane. You have that option. So as we're kind of getting to the end here, just in summary, lane centering, great. Brake stabbing, basically non-existent. We had one little instance of it. Only real thing that happened that was even bad in any way was at that green light where we were trying to turn left and there was oncoming traffic. It just didn't go once the traffic cleared up. So not sure what that was about, but we did have to give it a little accelerator tap. Outside of that, I mean, absolutely beautiful hour plus of FSD driving. And let's get our stats pulled up here. Yeah, so we've gone 21 total miles and we've done 19 and a half with full self-driving at 92%. Now this is my dad's Cybertruck, so he drives it significantly more than I do. So I'm interested to see next time I get in to do another FSD video, what the stat is. I don't know how much he uses FSD, but you know, from what I've seen today, I would say I'd use it a lot. I was pretty hesitant to use FSD when I had the Cybertruck and that was on 13.2.9. It just wasn't as solid. It was a little bit questionable. This is rock solid and I'm very impressed. And I can't wait to get it on my Model 3. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Let me know down in the comments what you think. What's your experience been on 14.2? Do you have it yet? Have you had any weird issues with it? Let's talk about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.